LeBron James has pretty much cemented his legacy in the NBA. He's got a few years left, and at max, he's going to win one more championship. But the way things are looking right now with Russell Westbrook and the Lakers, I think he'd be lucky to win one more. Regardless, whether he wins one more championship or he doesn't win anymore, he's one of the GOATs. Now, I personally don't think he's the GOAT, but I'm not one of those guys who tries to hate on him and compare other players. I just try to appreciate greatness when we have it because he's only got a couple years left. You don't want to be that guy who continues to hate on LeBron, and next thing you know, he's out of the league and you're going to be missing him. So for me, I just like to appreciate great basketball and great players when we see it, and whenever a LeBron 30 for 30 comes out, it's going to be special. Don't worry, we're not here to get into that controversial topic and talk about the GOAT debate. We're here to talk about how LeBron James is literally ruining his son's career. Or my bad, he's not ruining his career just yet, he's trying to. I guess I need to clarify this. I'm talking about Bronny James, who's his oldest, and he's about to be a senior in high school. I think it's very selfish of LeBron to be doing this, and I also just simply don't think it's right. We have a lot, and I mean a lot of stuff to talk about and go over in this video. As always, if you're new to the channel or simply not subscribed, go down there real quick. We're on the road to 200K, and we can't get there without you. I don't have any shame to ask you to subscribe to the channel because it helps us out and it doesn't hurt you whatsoever. I would greatly appreciate it if you do like the content and like videos like this. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, do nice stuff, and now without further ado, let's get into it. As to when I'm speaking and currently making this video, Bronny is listed as a 4-star recruit and ranked as the 34th best overall player in the country. Not too bad. If you don't know, he is in the class of 2023, so he is a junior and has one more year left of high school basketball. I assume a large majority of you watching this, maybe 50%, know how his career's gone so far. At the beginning, around 8th and 9th grade, he was in the top 5 and regarded as a 5-star recruit, but every single year he continues to drop. Not just for Bronny, but any recruit. Anytime you fall from a 5-star to a 4-star and you fall out of the top 5 and now you're listed at 34th, everybody's gonna ask the question, what went wrong? Or maybe not went wrong, but why is he falling in the rankings? To answer that question, there's a lot of factors that play into it. One of those factors being, and I love Bronny as a person, this is just simply a basketball take, he hasn't exactly lived up to the expectations. Every time we talk about Bronny, I feel like I say this, but it's been the remedy and it still holds true. He's not aggressive on the court. Anytime and every time a sports analyst talks about Bronny James, they always bring up he's not aggressive. Basketball is one of the only sports where if you don't have that aggressive attitude, it's going to affect how you play. In football, it doesn't really matter. If you're a wide receiver or running back and you're not aggressive, it doesn't matter because if the quarterback wants to throw you the ball, you don't got no choice. Same thing if you're the running back. If you're not aggressive, it doesn't matter because you're not the one calling the run plays. Here's what I'm trying to say. In most of your sports, and for example football like we're talking about, if you're not aggressive, it doesn't matter because the ball's coming your way no matter what. But in basketball, it's a little different. If you're not aggressive, you're not going to score a lot of points, you're not going to get a lot of rebounds, and you're not going to get a lot of assists. I hope I beat that into your head enough because that is his biggest flaw in his game. There is the argument, and I tend to go back and forth on it, if he's not aggressive, he can work on that, but at the same time, I feel like if you're not a natural born killer and you're not a natural born leader, it doesn't really come to you. Yes, I do think you can work on being a better leader, but there's just something about it. Most leaders in life, they're natural born. To put it in a better perspective, it's like telling a quiet kid or an introvert, alright, tomorrow you gotta be an extrovert and you gotta talk to everybody you see. You can say it and they themselves, they can want that, but it's just not gonna happen. So for good old Bronny, that's been a flaw in his game and it's a big flaw. He's only averaging 10 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2.5 assists, and 2.4 steals. When you hear 4-star recruit, when you hear a guy that's ranked inside the top 35 of his class, you'd expect him to be averaging 25 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. But Bronny, like I said, is only averaging a measly 10 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 2.5 assists. Those numbers raise an eyebrow and raise the question, if he wasn't LeBron's son, would he be ranked this high and be regarded as his top recruit? To answer that question, I don't think it's hard to say. The answer is no. If he wasn't LeBron's son, he more than likely wouldn't even be a 3-star recruit, and he wouldn't be ranked inside the top 150 or 200. Whoa, hold on, I gotta state this. I say this a lot on my channel, but I want you to understand it. The numbers, they don't tell you everything, but they do tell you something. I understand the argument where, oh, he's playing on Sierra Canyon, it's a stacked team, so he's not going to put up 25 points because he has to share the load. Well, here's my counter argument to that. Every single team that Bronny has played on ever since 8th and 9th grade, he hasn't been a dominating force or factor. I personally believe you can put Bronny on a public school and he still wouldn't average 20 or 25 points per game. That's not his play style. The best way to describe how he plays now is he has an NBA play style in high school. He's nothing more than a role player for Sierra Canyon, and that's how he plays. That's good though, don't get me wrong, I'm not discrediting him, and that's perfectly fine because he knows what to do. He has that LeBron IQ, and he's a guy you want on your team because he's not going to lose you a game. Bronny's going to make some plays here and there. He may drop 15, he may drop 20 some nights, but on the other hand, he may drop 4, he may drop 6. All throughout his career, everyone's told me, oh, well, next year he's going to go off and average 20. It doesn't happen. Then that year they go, oh, well, next year he's going to average 20. And it doesn't happen. It's just a repeating cycle. It comes to a point in time when you got to come to terms with yourself that Bronny's 10 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists, that's how he plays, and that's how good he is. Your numbers and stats, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, lacrosse, is a representation of how you play. If they didn't matter whatsoever, we wouldn't keep up and keep track with them. I want you to understand where I'm coming from, but I feel like a lot of you don't. There is nothing wrong with Bronny averaging 10, 4, and 2. But you know what is wrong? It's all the expectations that are being put on him. You're trying to compare Bronny to other big-time and elite high school prospects who are averaging 30, 35 points a game, and that's just not his play style. Y'all are going to have to come to the terms with that Bronny is not a guy that's going to give you 30 a night. He's a role player, and I hate the narrative that goes around where you hear the word role player and you look down on somebody. When I think of role player, I don't think of a guy that's worse than any of the other players. I just think of a guy who knows what he's doing on the court, and he does it well. It doesn't matter if Bronny was playing on the worst high school basketball team, the best high school team, the best college team, the worst NBA team. Every team, every program, every school, every NBA team he plays for, he's going to be a role player. Sometimes his role is going to be to drop 20 points. Sometimes it's going to be to stand in the corner and just play defense. Whereas for a lot of these other 5-star and 4-star recruits in high school, they're averaging 30 points a game in high school, and yeah, it's great, but you can't do nothing more. All you know in your entire life is score, 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 and you don't know how to play defense, and you don't know how to play team basketball. And that right there, in my opinion, is why Bronny will, not just maybe, but he will have a decent NBA career. Speaking of NBA, I guess that leads us into our next point perfectly and the main topic of this video, LeBron James. Do I care for LeBron on the court? Not really, but I'm not going to be a hater. He's one of the greatest of all time. I hate those people in real life, and I'm sure you know somebody like this. They'll say, oh, this NBA player's trash just because they don't like him. Let me tell you something. If you call an NBA player trash, a Major League Baseball player, and an NFL player trash, what does that make you? I've never understood the logic, and even when you beat somebody in a one-on-one, they go, you trash, run it back. If I'm trash, how did I beat you? Anyways, that's besides the point. Let me get back on topic. I don't care for LeBron on the court. I think he does some selfish things here and there, but off the court, this man is a perfect role model. He doesn't get enough credit, and he's one of the best dads out there, and I'm just talking about his fatherhood. I do not want to get into politics, because I don't care about politics. I'm solely talking about LeBron James being a role model to young men out there, and also fathers out there. It's kind of sad now that I think about it, where we're to the point in the United States where you almost gotta praise fathers for being in their kids' lives. It is what it is. But LeBron James has made an announcement, and it's extremely clear to me, and it's official, that he is selfish. There's 2 things I don't like about LeBron. On the court, he flops and cries a lot. And off the court, he seeks attention like no other. I don't understand it, LeBron. You have all the attention in the world, and yet it's not enough. You always want to be involved. And that goes hand in hand with what just happened. I'm just going to read it off to you. Earlier today, it came out that LeBron James said, word for word, wherever Bronny's at, that's where I'll be. I would do whatever it takes to play with my son for 1 year. It's not about the money at that point. He also said a message to all 30 teams was clear. If you want me, draft Bronny. My last year will be played with my son. Wherever Bronny is at, that's where I'll be, and that's what I would do. I'm not gonna lie, at first when I heard this, I said, man, that's great, that's awesome of LeBron. He wants to play with his son. But then I thought about it. This man LeBron James is single-handedly trying to ruin and sabotage his own son's career. I don't understand it. I know a lot of you aren't seeing this like me, but I want you to hear me out and understand me. Just listen to me real quick. More than likely, this has boosted Bronny's draft stock to, I thought, you know what, for sure he's going to be in the top 15, but the more I think about it, he could go number 1 overall just so the team gets LeBron. I don't think it's crazy now to say that Bronny could potentially go number 1, and you know the saddest part about all of it? It has nothing to do with Bronny himself, it's about LeBron. You're getting the ultimate package deal of all time, and you're going to bring in tickets like no other. Who doesn't want to see LeBron and his son play? And not only are you getting a package deal of a lifetime, but LeBron is still a good basketball player. He's like Tom Brady. I don't know how LeBron and Tom Brady do it. They get better the older they get, and it's ridiculous. Going into this year, everybody was writing LeBron off and calling him old, and he's arguably having a top 5 season of his career. And you may think it's good like I did at first and you don't see the problem, but I'm about to explain. Do you not understand how incredibly selfish this is of LeBron? It's not a if, but when Bronny gets drafted, that's supposed to be his special moment. But now it's not even going to be about him, it's going to be about his dad. If that doesn't resonate with some of you, I don't know how to explain it or dumb it down anymore. To put it in a better perspective, that'd be like me or you working for 25 years to get our dream job, and then out of nowhere, you get the job, but it was because of your dad. Like, yeah, you're gonna be happy you get the job, but you know deep down you didn't earn it. But then hold on, if that's not enough for you, it only continues to get worse. So not just draft night's gonna be focused on LeBron when it should be focused on Bronald. His entire first season, his rookie year, is gonna be a farewell tour for his dad. It's not even gonna be about Bronny, it's gonna be all about his dad. Oh man, what makes it even more interesting that today LeBron called Oklahoma City's GM the MVP and said he has a really good eye for a great NBA talent. Coincidentally enough, he also said today he's going wherever Bronny goes. Could we see LeBron and Bronald team up in OKC? I think it's a possibility. I believe OKC, whenever Bronny's eligible to get drafted, they have something like 3 to 4 first-round picks. Look, don't get me wrong, it's cool and it's going to be an awesome sight to see, but you can't help but only feel bad for Bronald. Bronald is a young man who his entire life he's been compared to his dad and always talked down upon like he's not ever going to reach the level of his dad, and right when he's starting to build his own career, it's not even going to be his own career. He's not going to be able to write his own story and write his own path if he's continuing to be bothered by his dad. And yes, that's right, I'm saying bothered. It'd be the equivalent of you finally moving out of your mom and dad's house, and then a year later they say, oh, we're moving in with you. Yeah, you love your mom and dad, but there's a certain point in your life where you want to live alone and be independent. I don't like it one bit. I think it's selfish, and I'm going to end this video off here. Let me know your thoughts down below, but with all that being said, that's gonna wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. If you know that channel, way you do it. Join the family. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a like for more. And as always, let's be great to my y'all. Peace.